Yeah, man. It's at the dawn of a brand new beginning. For the community, it's a bright horizon. Hey, it is community focus, community focus. Yes, it's for you, me, yes, it's for us. Just tune in, tell a friend and join us to discuss topics that affect us, whether personal or political, local or international. It is a platform for us to build from, so the community can grow to be strong. To the host, Raymond Dugue, Michael Duncan, two of our honorary humanitarian. It's real and it not bogus. Stand against those who stand against us. When situation rough and get tedious, get tedious, get tedious. Community focus, community focus. Community, yo, we have to adjust. Community focus, community focus. Ask the Almighty, Him will guide us. Community focus, community focus. Live up.
Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Oh, can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Oh. Come, little one, oh, let me do what I can for you. And you, and you.
Yes, brothers and sisters, a very good evening to each and every one of you. Well, actually, it's good morning from for me. I'm in Kenya, East Africa. It's 3 a.m. in the morning here in East Africa, Kenya, and it's a wonderful day, wonderful morning for me. I'm so happy to be here in Africa. I want to say a good morning to most of you around the world. Good evening to each and every one of you. I want to thank our listeners who are currently listening. We have people from Jamaica. We have people from the USA, folks from Canada, the United Kingdom, Liberia, Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, and many more places where you're listening now, brothers and sisters. Thank you so very much for joining us for the Community Focus program, where the community meets the radio, where the radio speaks to the community. Brothers and sisters, we have one sole objective here, is to develop and to build that platform for Black peoples of the world, the UNIA ACL of the world. Brothers and sisters, we all have a role to play, and the role is very large, but if we commit to what we need to do, if we commit to our program, our way of life, this will definitely work for us. Brothers and sisters, I hope you're hearing me clear. But with this type of work, the work continues, brothers and sisters, and we all have a role to play. Being here in Africa is always special to me. And right now, being here, brothers and sisters, I think we're having a little difficulty here. Yes, brothers and sisters, the work continues. I hope everything is clear. I hope you're hearing me clear. I hope the picture is presenting itself properly. So, brothers and sisters, again, I greet you, and I greet you in the name of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. We're in Kenya, East Africa, Brother Raymond is sleeping because it's actually 3 a.m. in the morning. But it's just my honor to greet each and every one of you, whether you're listening from Jamaica, the US, Canada, United Kingdom, Liberia, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, Sierra Leone. We greet you, brothers and sisters, and we thank you for joining the Community Focus program, the program where the community meets the radio and the radio speaks to the community. Brothers and sisters, this is our platform, and we have built this platform to handle our problems, to address our issues, our concern, and to build that strong base, that based on race first. Brothers and sisters, my name is Michael Duncan. I'm the 10th successor to the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. I can't say enough about Marcus Garvey. However, when we do travel and when we travel to the continent, it is always special. And it's very special for me, reason why Mr. Garvey built this government for us. He built the UNIA, a mass movement of roughly 12 million people. The base was supposed to be in Africa. However, Mr. Garvey never made it to Africa. He never stepped foot on African soil. Therefore, I, Michael Duncan, the 10th successor to the Honorable Marcus Garvey, have been charged to carry out the responsibilities that Mr. Garvey left for us. And one of them is to take Africans to Africa. Mr. Garvey brought Africa to us 100 years ago, but we are charged with the responsibilities of taking Africa to the Africans. And this is where we are. Africa visiting Africa, Africans seeing for themselves. And I must say that it's an honor to be representing Mr. Garvey, because the fact that he was not able to make it here to Africa, and now we're doing it for him. On this trip, currently, we are in Kenya, and in a few days, we're going to be heading to Ethiopia. Right now, we're in the central part of Kenya. We're in Nairobi. Nairobi is the capital city, but tomorrow we're visiting Mombasa. Mombasa is a city closer to the equator. It's on the seashore. It's where the slave dungeons were built. But brothers and sisters, as you visit Africa or any other African country where African people live, be it on the continent of Africa or be it in the Caribbean, one thing I see, and it's constant, our people are at the bottom. We look at Kenya right now and see the situation in Kenya, and we have to wonder what's going on. Again, our people are at the bottom. The payment scale, the salary scale for our people here is very, very low. Just like Jamaica, just like Trinidad, just like Haiti, just like Ghana, just like Nigeria, anywhere our people live, the payment scale, the salary, the minimum wage is very low. I was speaking to a few individuals here in Kenya to find out the minimum wage. And while they don't have a set system, some people here get compensated $200 per month. Some will even get lower than that. So for a domestic worker or a basic worker, they could be getting the equivalent of $50 per week, $200 per month. Brothers and sisters, for that to be happening, it's difficult for anyone to survive. Look at all the African countries. Look at the ones in West Africa, or look at the islands in the Caribbean. Some of us have gotten independence roughly 50, 60 years ago. However, we haven't seen the independence as far as economics is concerned. Brothers and sisters, when you look at any country, for any country to build, for any country to develop, brothers and sisters, you must have a system where the people in that system are being compensated from the standpoint of a living wage. And when I say a living wage, a wage that allows someone to live, a wage that allows someone to be able to pay his or her basic expenses. For example, like, rent or mortgage, say your utilities, food, and then have a little bit left over to be able to do some extracurricular activities or some fun activities, some social activities. And unfortunate, when you're in a system, when you're getting $200 per month, like here in Kenya, or if you're in Jamaica and for the minimum wage, it's $2 and change per hour. How are you going to survive? How are you going to cover your basic expenses and have a little bit left back to deal with the fun activities, to deal with the social activities? Brothers and sisters, it's not possible. And then you see most of these countries, what happened to them after the colonial masters left? They raped the countries of everything, be it England, France, Germany, Holland, Greece, all these countries, Sweden. Brothers and sisters, they left our ancestors, they left our people, our government with almost nothing. While we took political power, they control the economic power. And without economic, a nation can't grow. If you don't control your economics and benefiting from it and creating an environment where your citizens can benefit from it, your country will not grow. Your economic system will not grow. And when I look at all these countries, as I said, these countries in Africa or the countries in the Caribbean, it's the same plight, where most of them are unable to compensate their citizens at a reasonable level. Brothers and sisters, you look at any system. For a system to work, you must have average people, general people who are owning business and hiring people. Look at the United States. It's not the large corporation that hires the majority of people. It's basically the small businesses that comprise a good percentage of the business world in the United States. This small business hiring 10, this one hiring 25, this one hiring 50, this one hiring 5. And that goes on all over the country, where these individuals are participating in the economic system in building a strong economy. So if you have the United States, say for example, us as Africans, we benefit from the United States not because they intended a benefit for us. We've been able to earn a reasonable salary that most of us can cover our basic expenses and may be able to finance some extracurricular activities, finance some other basic things in life, go on a vacation. That happens in America, not because America built that system for Black people. No, it was never intended for Black people. That system was built for their people, but indirectly because we are living there, we got an indirect benefit from it. But even with that, a lot of us in America, we're catching hard time financially. Why? Because our pay grade is lower. A Caucasian person with the same qualification may be making $35 an hour, while we with the same qualification, we're making 25. The unemployment rate is so high. Black people make up 13% of the US population. However, we make up a larger percentage of the unemployed, of the folks in prison. So, brothers and sisters, that system was not made for us. It was made for somebody else. But we're just enjoying, if enjoy is the word to use, some indirect benefits. Okay, take most of these Caribbean countries, take most of the African countries, who at one point, maybe even as late as the late 60s and early 70s, were not independent, meaning that the colonial masters still control the system, still control the finances. However, even though we have gotten our independence, we're still in a plight. We're still in a shameful situation because the companies from England still control the major investment in Jamaica. The companies from England still control the major investment in Kenya, in Gambia, in Sierra Leone, in Ghana, still control these things. In Jamaica, big time, they still control the finances. In Barbados, the French and the US still control things, the investment, the companies in Haiti. So how can our countries ever really build and develop when their major financiers, their major investors are in other countries? And when the companies from England make their profits, they don't leave it in Jamaica or in Ghana or in Kenya. No, they take it back to England. So it's not really helping the economic system there. So, brothers and sisters, what we have faced, it's just a sad situation, but we have our leaders. I'm sure the easiest thing to do is to blame our politicians. And to a certain extent, a lot of them have to accept the blame. But brothers and sisters, we have to accept some of the blame as well, because in our country, whichever country you're from, in our countries, we are the real power. And if we ever wake up and know that we are the real power, we will do things differently. And by doing things differently, the people we elect to serve us will behave differently. But if we don't organize and if we don't address our situations and we don't make our demands as a group versus an individualistic pitch, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And then when you have companies coming into your country and paying people the equivalent of $200 per month, when you have companies coming into your countries and paying your citizens $2 and change per hour, how are your citizens ever going to develop? How is the economic system going to turn? Brothers and sisters, for any economic system to work and to be strong, you must have a lot more employed citizens than unemployed. And in our Black countries, we have too many, and I emphasize, too many unemployed brothers and sisters. And if you're unemployed, you cannot contribute to the economic system. You will not be able to make a difference. Brothers and sisters, any country they develop by their citizens, the average citizens making at least a living wage where they can buy and spend and continue to the rotational wheel of the economic system to keep it going. Look at America during COVID. Because of COVID, many businesses were threatened financially. And with those business being threatened to close, the US government knew exactly what would happen. They know that the country would go in a depression if companies start laying off and terminating employees. Because the employees would not be working, therefore, a regular employee would not be able to pay the mortgage, not be able to pay the utilities, not be able to buy food, not be able to participate in extracurricular activities. So more businesses would close. And when the businesses close, the country will go in a tailspin, in a depression. Some countries have gone into deep economic depression where they never recover. But take our countries in Africa and our countries in the Caribbean. The unemployment rate is very, very high in these countries, very, very high. And because of that, a lot of people are not hired. Because of that, people are not able to contribute to the economic system. And even those who are hired and they're being compensated at a rate of $200 per month or at a rate of $2.53 per hour, how can they ever help in the economic system? Whenever you're living in any system, any citizen should have the dream, even if they're dreaming. They should know that if they work hard enough, they could achieve all the basic things in life and more. And when you're paying the majority of our citizens $200 a month, $2.53 per hour, how can they ever reach that plateau? How can they contribute to the building of the economic system? How can they ever be able to open small businesses that in turn hire people who will contribute to the economic system? So, brothers and sisters, you will see that unless we can help our brothers and sisters all over the world, unless we can build the UNIA, that UNIA can serve as the advocacy body for Black people all over the world, be it in Trinidad, be it in Barbados, Jamaica, Ghana, Liberia, or Nigeria. We should be able to advocate for our people. Because unless we advocate for our people, the story will not change. Look at most of our people, brothers and sisters. Do you think they really want to leave their countries? Think about yourself. But then let me think about myself. As a boy growing up in Jamaica, my parents didn't want to leave Jamaica. My mother didn't really want to leave Jamaica. She wanted to stay in Jamaica where she knows the people, stay in Jamaica where she loves the people, and stay in Jamaica where her children are and make a good life. However, because the economic system was so weak, my mother saw the need to travel to America, where she left the beautiful sunshine to go work in 6 degrees. And she did it not because she was happy to leave Jamaica. She did it because she thought in her mind she was making a better life for her children. And maybe to a certain extent, she was. However, If the finances were right in our countries, if my mother was able to get a living wage in Jamaica and take care of her family and contributed to the economic system, she never would have left Jamaica. And I'm sure most of you who left for those reasons, it's only because we thought we were coming into a better system. And brothers and sisters, most of the time, it has not been a better system. It has not worked for us. So brothers and sisters, as we proceed, I want to let you know that we have to continue to work on behalf of African people. We want you to join the UNIA. What we're doing now going forward is each year we're going to visit different countries. And when we visit these countries, we're going to advocate on behalf of our people. And that's why we're planning that event next year to be in Jamaica, July 20th, within that week, where we're going to celebrate the UNIA, the establishment of the UNIA by Marcus Garvey. And we're going to meet with government officials and see how we can contribute. We can build with the people. We can build and influence the government to put the people first. Sure, we need the companies. We need the large corporation, but we need the people more, because it's the people who make up the country. It's the people who make up the government, and the people should decide what is best for the people. So we want to, starting with Jamaica next year, we want to visit Jamaica and many other islands, many other countries, and advocate for them on this behalf. So brothers and sisters, I've said a lot, but you have to join our ranks. Join our ranks that we may build a better tomorrow. Brothers and sisters, again, I'm in Kenya. We are in Kenya, a contingent from the United States. I've traveled here to Kenya. We're going to Ethiopia, the land where time started. This coming week, we'll be in Ethiopia. We're going to visit Shashamane, where a lot of our brothers from Jamaica, other islands, and the United States moved to Shashamane, the land where His Imperial Majesty prepared for our people. Brothers and sisters, it's that time of the evening. I want to thank you for joining us. We will be back in a few minutes. I want you to hold it right there. Community Focus will be right back. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
My people, shop at The Rock.
The wait is over. What started out as a vision is now reality.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. The Federation of African Caribbean American Restaurant Association is ready. Come and
shop at The Rock.
13205 Merrick Boulevard, inside of Belknap Street.
You need to save money for all your breadfruits, yellow yam, bami, cotchbonic pepper, plantains, bananas, all your fish and meat product. Come to The Rock. Wholesale price every day.
This is Dubmaster Chris, and I'm endorsing The Rock, the Restaurant Owners Corporation, inside of Belknap Street. Bring your shopping basket and shop till you drop. Save yourself some money and shop at The Rock.
Jamaica Breeze Buffet Restaurant, where it's Thanksgiving every day. Choose from 60 of our best dishes, featuring breakfast all day and a wide selection of Jamaican and Southern style favorites. At Jamaica Breeze, you choose what you want and pay what you want. Don't forget to try our juicy beef and chicken patties. And remember, we also accept Jamaican dollars. Jamaica Breeze now has 2 Queens locations. Our original store at 23202 Merrick Boulevard at the corner of 232nd Street in Laurelton, and our new location at 2136 Mott Avenue at the corner of Redfern Avenue in Far Rockaway. Visit us today and come hungry. You won't be disappointed.
To go back home. This couldn't be my home. It must be somewhere else. to it. I can't get no food to eat. I can't get a job to get bread. That's why I've got to go back home. If I've got to walk, I've got to go back home. If I've got to sing, I've got to go back home. There is no gladness, nothing but sadness, nothing like a future here. I've got to leave this land. I've got to find myself on some other side. I just can't stand this life of living. Lord, I can't get no close to it. Can't get no food to eat. Can't get a job to get bread. That's why I've got to go back home.
Yes, brothers and sisters, I got to go. Brothers and sisters, I am home. I am home in Kenya, East Africa, visiting our father's land. Brothers and sisters, we are now in Kenya. We'll be traveling to Ethiopia at the weekend. We'll be traveling to Ghana, Liberia, visiting Togo and Guinea in February. So those who were not able to make this trip here, you can make the one in February. The experiences in Ghana will be second to none. The culture, second to none. The environment, the people, second to none. The food, the arts and craft, second to none. Just as good, but second to none. So brothers and sisters, you can join us. And we're going to continue the work of the people. You know, every time I visit an African country, whether it's a country on the continent of Africa, whether it's a country in the Caribbean, brothers and sisters, it saddens me. It saddens me, honestly speaking, because what the slavers did in Jamaica, they did it in Haiti, they did it in Trinidad, Barbados, they did it in Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, they did it in Kenya. And the remnants of slavery, just like it is still in all those other places, the remnants are still here in Kenya. Brothers and sisters, we can see how things were here prior to independence, where they had hospitals. And say, for example, they were hospitals, prime hospitals that were built for the slave masters and the slave masters' children, where they experienced and lived a life of luxury here in our lands, where our people couldn't visit certain places. Brothers and sisters, I saw a sign here in Kenya that they used to have during that period that they practiced slavery and colonization. Brothers and sisters, there's a sign that says, "No dogs and niggers allowed." Imagine, they left from Europe and they came to our country, stole our lands, take what they wanted. And some people will want to say that, oh, they did bargain with us. Brothers and sisters, let me ask you a question. How can you bargain with someone when they have a gun pointing at you and you only have a knife? What kind of bargaining power is that? They're telling you what you want. And if they don't get it, you're going to die. They're going to kill you. So what kind of bargaining is that? But brothers and sisters, since we're in Kenya, let's talk about Kenya. It's amazing the atrocities that were committed against African people here. It's amazing how the Africans living in Kenya were treated like subhuman. It's amazing how the slave masters did not have any problem with these things. It's amazing how they brought their spirituality to us, their Christianism to us, took away our spirituality and gave us theirs. Give us the Bible and they took the lands. Brothers and sisters, it's amazing, but think about Kenya. Before the British really took this section over, a lot of the slave raids in this region, Kenya, Namibia, in these regions, was carried out by the Arabs. The Arabs would come to the sub-Saharan countries, raided our brothers and sisters, kidnapped them, and would cross back the desert and take them back into their homes, killing them, mistreating them. Most of the brothers under the leadership and the rulership of the Arabs, our brothers were castrated. They were killed. They would work from sun to sun without any pay, without any benefits, their brothers and sisters. And these atrocities were committed by the Arabs. It's amazing how the two major religions in Africa are one, Christianity, and two, Muslim. Because our slave masters, they came, they conquered, they took our land, gave us their God, and we gladly accept our God. And they have put us in a position, some as Christians, some are Muslims, and now we're even killing each other across religious lines. Brothers and sisters, we have to learn. Brothers and sisters, we have to go back to our roots. We have to go back to our spirituality. 10,000 years before they came here, brothers and sisters, we had a God. We worshiped our God that looked like us. Before they came here, we built cities. We developed math and science. So, brothers and sisters, you have to realize that their modern day improvement are just replicas of a grander civilization that we experienced thousands of years ago. Brothers and sisters, we have built great cities already, so we can build them again. But not only must we believe, we must know. And brothers and sisters, we won't get back to our plateau while we're still worshiping under his God, while we're still eating his food, while we're still wearing his clothes. We must identify and determine ourselves for ourselves. Brothers and sisters, they have never been good to us, and they will never be good to us. And they don't have any reason to be good to us because they have their own business to take care of. We must rise up and build and generate for the next generations to come. Brothers and sisters, the onus is in our hands. Being in Kenya, it's amazing, the atrocities. But brothers and sisters, our people didn't just accept it. Our people fought at every level. Jomo Kenyatta, who is the first president, they fought the system here. They didn't accept it here. He was locked up and put in his prison because of his advocacy for African people. You had the Mau Mau group here in Kenya. The Mau Mau group fought relentlessly for Black people in Kenya and the surrounding territories. They fought relentlessly, brothers and sisters. But the system kept control of them. So, brothers and sisters, the Arab really controlled here for the longest time, and they were capturing people, brothers and sisters, kidnapping brothers and sisters, in this region from the late up until the late 1920s. That's when the British took over. And I guess when the British took over, the Arabs had to stop. The Arab slave trade stopped from this region because now they were afraid of the British Empire. So, brothers and sisters, that's why we must build our empire. We must build our government because that's the only form of defense we have. Those who are beaten easiest, brothers and sisters, are beaten most. That's why they continue to beat us. That's why they continue to downplay us. That's why they continue to take us for granted. That's why they can take away our God and give us their God. And still we can't see the light that the Chinese man has a Chinese God. The white man have a white God. The Indian have an Indian God. Brother and sisters, what kind of God we have? We have everybody else's God. Everybody else's God we have, brothers and sisters. And like we want to keep that God. So, brothers and sisters, you look at the British and what they have done here and continue to do. I spoke to a young lady today. She has a master's degree in engineer and she cannot find a job. That's what we're finding in our system, be it in Kenya here, be it in Ghana, be it in Jamaica, be it in Trinidad. That's what's happening with our young people because we're relying on a system that doesn't have their interest, that doesn't have our interest. Brothers and sisters, but we must hold our elected officials responsible. We must be the guiding star, the guiding light for them. We must show them what we want. We must show them that they have to put the citizens first. And they don't have to put us first. We just have to put ourselves first, organize ourselves in one grand racial hierarchy where we put race first, brothers and sisters, and I guarantee our conditions will change tomorrow. If we make that step, our conditions will be different. Brothers and sisters, we're going to start that in Jamaica next year, July. July 20th will be the main event. We want each and every one of you to join us in Jamaica for a few days. And after that, we will visit various countries where we can go and speak on behalf of our people. Ensure that these governments the world over are treating our people right. We're going to meet with an ambassador here in Kenya tomorrow. When we arrive in Ethiopia, we're going to speak to our people in Shashamane and the rest of Ethiopia, and we're going to get some kind of audience with elected officials here, brothers and sisters. But our jobs have come full circle, brothers and sisters. The work Mr. Garvey was doing 100 years ago, advocating for our people, we are doing it now. But the only difference is back when Mr. Garvey was here, 8 out of 10 Black people joined the UNIA. So, brothers and sisters, we're asking for you now to join our ranks in the UNIA, giving us some more strength to advocate for us, to advocate for our elders, to advocate for our juniors, our babies, to secure a path to a great future for them, brothers and sisters. We must make that difference. Brothers and sisters, as we travel through Africa, we're seeing the same plight everywhere else. If we don't do something, it's not going to change. And what we can do by you joining this movement, we become economically stronger. we're able to open more businesses in these countries. And when we start opening more businesses and start being more profitable, then we're able to hire more of our people. And we're able to hire them at a living wage because our circumstances financially will be stronger and firmer, and we can be able to defend and support our people financially. But first, we must be working in unison. We must ensure that every corner of our community is actually involved in this. We must put race first. Why? Everyone else making the cry. Italy making the cry for the Italians. The Jews making the cry for the Jews, brothers and sisters. China making the cry for Chinese. So what are we doing? Brothers and sisters, Africans, we are making the cry for Africa, for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. Brothers and sisters, we're heading over to a different city tomorrow morning. We're catching a plane in the morning and we're visiting a city named Mombasa. And that's where the slave dungeons were. That's where they came into the interior, like Nairobi, and capture our brothers and sisters. They would take them there in Mombasa to wait for the boats, to wait for the slave ships. And they did that for years, years after years, brothers and sisters. Everybody came in and got a benefit. After they stopped, the Arabs stopped, you had the Portuguese, you had the Dutch, you had the Danes, you had the Swedes, you have the French and the German. In the southern region here, England took countries like Kenya, Uganda, and other places. Germany took places like Namibia. And you can't imagine the atrocities, the evilness that the German people committed against our people. I think that in a few weeks, the so-called King Charles of England will be visiting Kenya. And by visiting Kenya, we heard that he's going to speak about the atrocities that England committed against our people and some type of reparation language they claim will be involved. I don't know to what level, but brothers and sisters, I don't trust these people. I never did, and I never will. So I don't expect anything good to come of it. Brothers and sisters, if we ever get reparation, it must because we stand together. It must because we organize ourselves, fight and unite for our benefit and take reparation. As long as we continue to beg for reparation, we will not get it because this man will not give it to us. All we need is for him to take his foot out of our throats. We will go get our own reparation. We will repair the mind, soul, and bodies of our people. We will repair our economic situation, but we must hold together under all circumstances, under all countries, under one God, one aim, one destiny. That's the only way, my brothers and sisters, that we can get what we want, that we can defend our people, we can support ourselves, we can build our own economic system in our countries all over the world, a robust system that we can make the difference and our people don't have to beg anymore. Brothers and sisters, It's up to us. The time is now. We are the chosen one. But remember, you can't do it by yourself. If you live in this system, at some point, you're going to need a movement to stand on. You're going to need a movement to be that base that you can rely on. But remember, brothers and sisters, if we don't build that base, we won't have that base to stand on. If we don't build that base will not be here to support it. If we don't build that base, brothers and sisters, who knows, we may be back in slavery in the future because we don't have any defense. When things get desperate for the slave masters, he can go back to his dirty ways. I mean, he hasn't really quit his ways because he continued to oppress us, but in different ways. Brothers and sisters, the time is now. Again, we're in Kenya. It is beautiful here. The temperature is a little cooler than West Africa. In the winter months, it can get down to 60 something degrees. So that's why when most of the slave masters, they dealt with West Africa, they basically send their subjects there to take care of West Africa for them. But in this region here, in East Africa, where it's a little bit cooler, they came here themselves. They ran the countries here. They benefited from it here. Brothers and sisters, from they came 100 years ago, they have been growing their foods here. Places like Zimbabwe, places like Kenya, places like Namibia, that's where they grow and they farm and send their foods to Europe to feed their people. Brothers and sisters, it's not going to change. It is sad, but the same situation we're seeing in Kenya, we have seen it all over. We have seen where our people don't own the major businesses. We're seeing where they don't own the supermarkets. They don't own the banks. They don't own the real estate companies. So brothers and sisters, the time is now. The time is now, and we can't wait anymore. Brothers and sisters, as I said, Brother Raymond, he fell asleep tonight. He was tired. We did a whole lot of things today, and we have a early morning tomorrow. We're heading to Mombasa. We're going to see the slave dungeons in that region. We're going to see those same platforms where they denigrated our people, where they castrated our man. They just embarrass, destroy a good system. But brothers and sisters, just remember what man has done, man can do. And we have to do it, brothers and sisters. We have to make that difference. Marcus Garvey is relying on us to liberate Africa. Marcus Garvey is relying on us to take your brothers and sisters' problems and make them your problems and solve them together. Marcus Garvey is relying on us to bring forth the unity of Africa. Brothers and sisters, Marcus Garvey left us a government. He left us a black print on how to navigate this evil system. So, brothers and sisters, we have to go back to the black print that have worked for us for centuries. As I said, most of the modern day improvements you are seeing in these societies, they were realized by Africans centuries ago. Brothers and sisters, they took our spirituality, therefore they could control us. Brothers and sisters, we experience our spiritual beings centuries ago. Brothers and sisters,
The race is for us to take control and lead and develop and build. Brothers and sisters, unfortunately, every good thing must come to an end, and this show here is coming to an end tonight. We will continue with our trip here in Kenya, learning more about the Kenyan system and our people here. We will continue to do that tomorrow as we visit Mombasa. Then we will come back to Nairobi. And later on this week, we will be heading to the land where time began, there in Ethiopia, the conquering lion, the tribe of Judah. Brothers and sisters, thank you so very much. And I close by saying, one God, one aim, one destiny. Long live Marcus Garvey. Long live the UNIA. Long live all African. Long live Kenya. Good night, brothers and sisters.
The Community Focus Show is brought to you by Jamaica Breeze.